Okay, in this next video, I'm going to demonstrate how to defend against a rear choke. Okay, so I'm going to have Troy come over and he's going to attack me from behind and he's going to grab me into a rear chokehold. So as he's pulling me into a rear chokehold, some people will support by coming up to the top. So there's a couple things that we're going to do. Now he's allowing me to breathe so I can instruct and tell you what I'm doing. So what I want to do is, number one, he grabbed me with this arm that's coming around, okay? So I'm going to bring both hands, drive my fingers in to the top of his arm, and notice how my wrists are kind of like hanging over on his arm. So what I want to do is just straighten my wrist and push my palms in. The other thing I want to do is I want to take the shoulder on the side that he attacked from, and I want to raise that shoulder up. And what that does is it disengages his shoulder and prevents him from doing like a lateral vascular neck restraint. So this shoulder lifting doesn't allow his arm to press against my carotid on this side, okay? If he was trying to do that type of a choke, all right? So now once I have him here and he's pressed against my collarbone, he can try to push my head forward and he can still try to do all the other things. He's not going to be able to, all right? So from here, my hands are together, but once I've got him pinned and I've got my shoulder up protecting that carotid, I can slip this hand out simply so that I can elbow, strike here. If I swing my hand down, I'll strike to the groin. If I go over my ears with an open hand and relaxed fingers, I'll go into his eyes. And immediately I'm just going to hit, okay? When I'm doing that, I'm going to do what's called slipping past the mountain. I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to step past him as I'm driving. But I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to grab his hand and I'm going to get a hold of this hand. And as I step, I'm going to rotate this hand in that position, that turning the palm out, so turning it in towards him. So I've got him here, and as I go to step, I'm going to step, rotating him into this lock. Okay? So from here, I can put my hand on him and I can shove him away and I can leave and escape. That was my plan. If I need to protect my family, I can draw him back. I've got him in a lock and I've got him held. Okay? I can move from this position here, putting him in a different type of lock, move to various different locks, continue to move him and pass and switch hands, drop him on the ground, whatever I need to do. But the key function of a rear choke, let's say he gets all the way around and he has me here. This same movement, I'm going to come up, I'm going to roll to my chest, and I'm going to press in, and I'm going to raise this arm up. If you can't tell, he's not on the ground. I'm lifting him up off the ground. If I was, let me kneel, you stand. Go ahead. Bring your foot in, I'm going to go to the outside. If I'm here and he's here, where he's above me, okay, I still want to raise this shoulder up to get his arm off of my neck here, to get it up by my ear. If he's trying to squeeze in this way, I need to roll the shoulder up and then still press in. That reduces his ability to squeeze that together, and I can keep my chin up so he can't put me in a position where I'm actually being choked. Okay, so we're going to rotate around to face the screen. Okay, so even though I'm down low and he's much taller than me and he has me in this same choke, I can still go over and strike him to the eyes, strike him easier to the groin, okay, hit him in the eyes, grab him, reach up, tear an ear, do whatever I need to do to try to loosen this up, and then I'm going to grab a hold of that hand the same way. So even though he might be here like this, I'm going to grab a hold. Just put your hand up like you're trying to squeeze it. There you go. So once I get him here, I'm going to reach up and I'm going to find this hand. And when I find the hand, regardless of how I grab it, I might grab it with the thumb side. His hand's not going to bend that way either. So at this point, I'm going to rotate around, throwing him from a wrist grab this way. If I start pulling and he spins his hand, thanks, that's what I wanted. Now I got him here and I can roll him over and bring him around in front of me. You okay? So it doesn't make a difference whether they're going to the right, to the left, you know, trying to turn it this way, turn it that way. You know, ultimately, the human hand, just stand. The human hand, if turn your hand as far as you can this way. That's as far as he can turn it. If I turn it more, he loses balance. Rotate it the other way. That's as far as he can turn it on his own. When I rotate it more, he loses balance and he changes how his position is. So when we're dealing with how you grab a hold of somebody, you can flip it and bend it up into him. Well, his hand doesn't bend that way very comfortably. Okay? If I rotate it around the other way and I bend it up into him, that hurts too. All right? And it don't bend up that way. His hand doesn't go up that way very well. It doesn't make a difference whether I flip it around and I lock him out this way or however I'm putting him in to these different types of hand locks and wrist locks, okay? But the ultimate thing is I want to get out of however he's holding me, okay? So, so when you're practicing at home and you have your bandana on, you know, put it around your wrist and then just think about they come up and they grab you. When they grab you, they might bend you backwards and take your balance. If that happens, swivel your hips left or right and step so that you get balance and you can sink down, slide your hands over, grab a hold, straighten your wrist, and then just press it against your chest. Okay, and y'all have done this in class and you know it works. You know you can do it against, no matter how strong we are, you can easily just roll it and hold it there. Once you get that position and you're in that, I have them to hold, you can strike them and then grab that outside of that hand and twist it for what's natural for you. You grab it here and you rotate it out as you step. And that's going to allow you to break free of that grab. All right? So that's defense against the rear choke. Don't forget to raise your shoulder up when they wrap around. If you don't raise your shoulder up and they're squeezing in on the sides, they're going to cut off the blood going to your brain and you're going to pass out pretty quick. So you raise that shoulder up. So as your fingers are coming up, you're tucking this one shoulder up and you're rolling down and you're leaving that shoulder up from the side they grab. If they grab you on the other side, just raise that other shoulder up. Because what you're doing is you're trying to close off this artery so they can't get to it. And they'll just be pressing against your ear and your jawbone, your lower mandibular, instead of pressing against your arteries that are supplying blood to your brain or to your heart. Okay? And that's it.